Namaskar. My name is Acharya Shubhadipananda Avadhut. I am going to explain before you karma and karma fall. You see, we have a topic in this seminar that is karma and karma fall. What is the background of this topic? The background of this topic is karma and karma fall, action and the reaction of the action. This is the meaning, karma and karma fall. So, in this topic, karma and karma fall, the background of this topic is, you see, Anandamarga philosophy is based on sadhana, service and sacrifice. Sadhana, service and sacrifice. Anandamarga philosophy is based on those who are Anandamargi, they have to do sadhana, they have to do service and they have to sacrifice their life. Normally we are not sacrificing anything, but sacrificing mentality should be there. And you have to do sadhana, and besides doing sadhana, you have to do selfless service. Service means selfless. Not by getting money, for money we have to do service. Service means selfless service. Without any interest, we have to do service. This is the reality of Anandamarga, concept of Anandamarga. Anandamarga is based on sadhana, service and sacrifice. So what is sadhana? Sadhana is the combination of Gyan, Karma, Bhakti. Gyan, Karma and Bhakti. Knowledge, service and devotion. The path of sadhana, the path of spiritual progress. Sadhana is spiritual progress. We are following the path of spirituality, and the spiritual progress is based on sadhana, and sadhana is based on Gyan, Karma and Bhakti. This is the reality. We can't say that I am following only devotion marga, I am following only bhakti marga, I am the followers of only Gyan marga, I am the followers of only karma marga. That is, I am a karmi, worker. So this is not like this. This is not the real concept of Anandamarga philosophy. Sadhana is combination of Gyan, Karma and Bhakti. If you are saying that I am a spiritual harbinger, I am a spiritual aspirant, I am a devotee, then you must have to follow the path of Gyan, Karma and Bhakti. This is the reality of spiritual philosophy. And nobody is saying like this, but only the philosophy Anandamarga is dictating on it, giving some clarification on what is karma, what is Gyan and what is devotion. Anandamarga philosophy is giving clarification on this subject. You see, the background of karma and Gyan is karma and karma follow. The background of karma and karma follow. The topic is we have selected. So what is the background? I am just saying before you that you see in Gita it is already mentioned there. Karmanni vade karasti ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalam heturbu ma te sangasto akarmani. So this concept is there in Gita. You have to do service without any desire. No desire should be there in your mind. So this concept is there in Gita, but this concept is only theoretical. So this is the fact. Theory is there, but what should be the practical? I am saying you should not. You should do service without any desire. I am saying before you, but what should be the practicality? What should be the practical approach of this? So this concept is not there in Gita. So this is the reality. So theoretically, theory is correct, but what should be the concept? What should be the practical? Karmanne vadikarastha ma phaleshu kadachana. You should not ask. You should not have any desire for the resultant of action. This concept is there, but in Anandamarga, the excellence of Anandamarga philosophy is Karmanne vadikarastha ma phaleshu kadachana. You have to do work with excellence. What is the excellent way of work? This excellent way of work is there only in theory in Bhagavad Gita, but in practical field, practical approach is not there. This is the excellent philosophy of Anandamarga, that our Gurudev Sri Anandamarga Ji has given this concept very clearly. He has given the practical approach and he has also given the theoretical concept also. What should be the practical? What is the theoretical approach and what is the practical approach? There must be a similarities between theory and practical. Without practical, theory is not so important. Theory is not so important. The cult, Gyan, Karma, Bhakti. This cult we have to follow for liberation. Ananda Marga is saying to follow the path of proper liberation. To follow the proper path for human liberation. Human liberation is there if you follow the path of Gyan, Karma and Bhakti. And what should be the practical approach? You see, in Bhagavad Gita again it is saying that Yoga Karma Sukhausala. You see, Karma Sukhausala. Excellence of work. What is the excellence of work? What is the excellent way of doing work? This approach is there in Bhagavad Gita. You see, Yoga Karma Sukhausala. What is karma? We are doing physical work, mental work, and also spiritual work. We have three stratum in our life, that is physical, mental and spiritual. So you see, karma sukhausala means not only do the physical work properly, not only do the mental work properly, not only do the spiritual work properly, but what is the excellent way of doing all these three works? That is karma sukhausala. So karma sukhausala means how we have to do physical work with excellence, how we have to do mental work with excellence, how we have to do spiritual work with excellence. That process is given by Anandamurti ji in practicality. That practical approach is called, and this is the only excellent philosophy that I believe that Anandamurti ji has given this concept. This is the real concept. So this is the excellent approach of Anandamarga philosophy. So you see, karma and karma follow. So what is karma and what is karma follow? Who is doing karma and who is doing karma follow? Who is the owner of this karma and who is the owner of this karma follow? So these questions are coming when we do work. Karma and karma follow means karma and the reaction of action. Reaction of action, that is, we call it sanskara. When we do something, doing something, we must get something. If we do something, then we get something. Where there is karma, there must be reaction. Karma and karma fall is existing side by side. We can't separate from it. But you see, who will be the owner of this karma follow and who will be the owner of this karma? Suppose I am doing so many works in our day-to-day life. I am eating, sleeping, I am going somewhere, I am teaching, I am propagating my ideology. All these things I am doing. And behind all these things, I have some egoistic mentality that I am doing this work. This egoistic feeling is the owner of the work. So if I do work with having some I feeling, this I feeling is the only owner of this work. So the person who is doing the work, he is the owner of the work. That same person will be the owner of the reaction also. So this is the concept. You see, if I want to maintain our physical existence, I have to do so many things. Without doing anything, I cannot live. Just to maintain our physical existence, I have to do something. For maintaining our food, for maintaining our physical body, I need food. Just to get food, I have to do some work. If I do work, we have to come in contact with bondages. We have some limitation. Our limitation is we are confined within time, place and person. This time, place and person is our bondages, is our limitation. So it is not possible to come back from these bondages. So renunciation is not possible. In true sense of renunciation, what is renunciation? In general term, we say that renunciation is you give up your work and go to the forest and do meditation for spiritual enlightenment. For spiritual realization, you leave this physical world It is not necessary that you have to leave this physical world. You must stay in this physical world, and staying in this physical world, you have to follow the path of spirituality. That is the practical approach. So you have to follow the path of spirituality while you are living in this physical world. Kuru Purnam Ahoratra. Always you do some Punna Karma, virtuous deeds. Kuru in this samsara, in this family world. Always family, always society is saying that you do something for the society, you do something for the samaj, you do something for this universe. You have to do. Without doing anything, you cannot say that I am a renounced person. You have to do something for the society. This is Kurukshetra. This universe, this society, this family is our own Kurukshetra. In this family life, we have to do something. Kuru. Always you have to do something. This is the concept. But if you do something, it is sure that you will get some sanskar. So it is true that when you are living in this physical world, to maintain your physical existence, you have to do something. But when you are doing some work, it is sure that you will get a bondages. That bondage is your sanskar. And if you have sanskar, then again you have to come back for your next life, just to adjust your sanskar, just to burn your sanskar. You see, there are three types of sanskar: inborn sanskar, imposed sanskar, acquired sanskar. Inborn sanskar, that we have some inborn instinct that a newborn baby, when a baby takes birth, nobody tells the baby that you should cry. It is naturally they cry. It is natural system that they know how to suck mother's milk. So it is natural. They know from his birth. By birth, we have some sanskar. That sanskar we are adjusting in this present life. And what the sanskar we will get in this present life, we have to remain deposit for future life. That is for next life. We have to move in a circular way in this birth and rebirth cycle. So this is the system. So it is not possible to get rid of this karma and karma phala. But what should be the science? What should be the approach that we should be a renounced person? Renunciation should be there. We have to do work. Karmanyavadi karastha ma phalasya kadachana. We have to do work, but we should not keep any desire for the work. You see, I am doing work. This I feeling is the sole power, sole authority of doing work. So we have to give this egoistic I feeling. If we think that I am not doing this physical work in this physical body, it is not me. I am a machine in this physical body, and this machine is operating by supreme operator. If we have some mentality that this machine, this physical body is a machine, and it is operating by a supreme operator, and that supreme entity is guiding us, then and there will be a surrender mentality that he is doing all these things. So I have to surrender myself at the altar of Supreme Father. If I surrender myself, then and there our mind will be enlarged. That is Vishwara Sarvabhutasya Vishwara Vishnu Midam Jago. Here Vistara means expansion of mind. That is real Vishnu, who himself is expanding his mind. The meditation process is the expansion of mind. We have to expand our mind. We have to unbound our mind. So this should be the practical approach. First point. And next point is that we are doing work, by doing work we are getting some sanskara. When we do work, we have to surrender everything at the altar of Param Purusha. That theory is by applying second lesson, by doing Guru Puja and by doing Shuddhis. Three things are there. Brahma Bhava, ideation of Brahma. When we are doing work, we have to take the ideation of Brahma. That Brahma, ideation of Brahma should be imposed while doing work. When we are doing work, when just we are going to do work, at that moment we have to impose Brahma Bhava, ideation of Brahma. If we apply Brahma Bhava, then and there the karma phala will divert towards Supreme Brahma. This is the first approach. That in our second lesson, that is ideation of Brahma with the help of mantra. If we do this, then and there the karma phala will be converted into Brahma Bhava. And second one is Guru Puja. Guru Puja actually is Varnarga Dan. Varnarga Dan means when we come in contact in this physical world, at that time all this colorful world has created some impression in our mind. At this impression we call it Varna. So when we do Guru Puja, we offer all our mental color, mental energies, mental propensities at the feet of Parama Purusha. This is Brahma Samarpana. So we have to surrender my mental color in the form of flower or in the form of color, whatever I have in my mind, I have to offer at the altar of Parama Purusha. So this is the second one approach. If I do this, I will be free from all sorts of mental anxieties. And third one is when we do meditation, we do Shuddhis. That is withdrawal of mind from this external physical world. We have to practice how to withdraw our mind from this external physical world. If we are able to withdraw our mind from this external physical world, then and there we have an internal physical world. We have an internal physical world. In this internal physical world, there are so many thoughts. It is coming from external influence, external stimulants, and it stays for a certain period of time. If I get some thoughts, and these thoughts will also create a sanskar. This sanskar is created by direct action or indirect action. Indirect action is thoughts of our mind. If thoughts will come, it will also create a sanskar. So that thoughts should be converted into the ideation of Brahma with the help of Ishta mantra. So this is the third one process. So we have to follow the path of Brahma Bhava, that is second lesson. We have to follow the path of that is Guru Puja, Varnarga, and we have to follow the path of Shuddhis. That three things is coming here. And in this seminar topic, we will clarify in a more details way. That topic is karma and karma phala. So this topic is very useful for our practical life. I think this clarification you will not get it anywhere. So I think this explanation will little bit help you to know what is karma and what is karma phala.